Alright, hi everybody. This is the 2000 Oldsmobile Silhouette. And today we're going to be tackling replacing the wheel bearing axle hub assemblies. But what I wanted to do first is actually get in the car and take it for a ride, because I want to see if maybe the video camera will pick up the noise that the car's been making. So we're gonna just go for a short drive here. Basically, it's a noise that is noticeable between 25 and 55 miles per hour, and I'm gonna call it a loud hum or a growl. I know that it's not the engine. The engine's pretty quiet. And I noticed that the pitch of this growl or hum is relative to the speed of the vehicle, wheel speed. It's not relative to RPMs of the engine. I can shift into neutral and you still hear that loud growl. So I've come to the conclusion, based on that and some reading, that it's probably the drive axle hubs. So I'm at 20 miles per hour now. 25, you can probably hear it. It's a loud hum or a growl. Truth is, yesterday my wife was driving this car and called me on her cell phone, and over the cell phone I could hear the howl or the growl, the loud hum. All right, so we're 20 miles an hour here. 25. Certainly hear it. On this road I can go 35, so as I went around that left bend, it seemed to disappear momentarily. Now it's back. Hearing it louder as I increase speed. So when you have a noise like this, you have two options: figure out what it is and fix it, or, as my wife suggests, just turn the radio up louder. That's not the option that I'm inclined to do. So I'm going to turn around now, pause the tape, and go back home and get set up for the replacement of these wheel bearing drive axle hubs. And hopefully you've been able to hear the noise that's been troubling me for quite some time now. So this is a 2000 Oldsmobile Silhouette. What we're going to do would be the same for a Chevy Venture, the Pontiac Montana, and there may be other GM, General Motors vehicles that use the same drive axle hubs or similar. So the work that we're going to do may apply to a wide variety of GM vehicles. So there's that hum. Hopefully you can hear it, and hopefully the work we do today will resolve it. Here you're looking at the new wheel hubs. I got them from J.C. Whitney online. They were about $100 for the pair. I think I had a 10% off coupon, tax, so it's close to $100. These are the made in China ones, which is fine with me. Some people only want they come with a 1-year warranty. I guess the made in America ones are a 3-year warranty, but it's a lot more money also. So we've got the replacement hubs here, and we're ready to get started. Before I jack up the vehicle, you can see I already removed the wheel cover. I want to break loose that axle nut. I want to do that before I jack up the vehicle. While it's still on the ground, it's a lot easier. You got to use a 34mm socket, and I got a long breaker bar because that thing is torqued down really hard. So I will loosen that nut while I'm still on the ground. Not remove it, just loosen it. And then after I do that, we'll jack up the vehicle and make that all secure so we can do our work to remove the old axle hub. Okay, so we have removed the wheel. The vehicle is jacked up, supported. And our next step is to remove the brake caliper, that baby right there. That's secured by 2 bolts that go through the back. One of them's right there. Then there's another one down low. Once I remove the brake caliper assembly, I'm going to support it with that wire. I'm going to hang it from up here somewhere because we don't want the weight of that caliper assembly hanging on the brake line. That would not be good. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect that little wire clip back there. That's the ABS wire harness thing. That should be fairly simple. So pause the tape and do those 2 steps. Alright, you can see I've removed the brake caliper. I have it hanging so as to keep the weight off of the brake line. I've also removed the axle hub nut, which I had broken loose prior to raising the vehicle. So the next step are 3 bolts that hold the bearing hub, axle hub assembly to the steering knuckle. And there's 1, 2, and then 3, 1, 2, 3 bolts that come in through the back that look to be possibly a pain in the neck to get off. I'm gonna have to like turn the steering one way and then the other way to get access to them. By the way, the 2 bolts that hold on the brake caliper come off with a 15mm socket, and then I can see that it's a 13mm socket to take off the 1, 2, 3 remaining bolts that are holding that axle hub assembly to the steering knuckle. That's my next task, so let's do it. Well, I got those 3 bolts off the that hold the axle hub on, but the hub is still frozen to the axle, so I'm going to attempt to remove it using this 3-jaw puller, and hopefully that'll do the trick. I actually had a smaller 3-jaw puller that I tried to use, but it was just too small, so I got this one as a loaner tool from one of the auto parts retailers, and hopefully this is what it will take to release that, break free that hub from the axle. Alright, the 3-jaw gear puller did the trick, although it wasn't easy. That's actually been the most challenging part of the job so far. That thing was really frozen onto the axle. For the heck of it, I took some WD-40 and a wire brush to the grooves in that axle with the hopes that the new one will go on easier than the old one came off. So I'm about ready to install the new axle hub. I've already pushed the 3 bolts through. There's this plate. Pushing the bolts through will hold that plate into place, and it'll be a matter of feeding the wire through the bottom and putting the hub in place. So let's get to it.
Yeah, Daddy.
I'm happy to report the new axle hub went on fairly easily. 3 bolts in the back, and now I'm putting the axle nut back on. They they tell you to get a new one, and I ordered 2 new ones, one for each side. I don't know why that is, but this is still the old one because the new ones didn't come in yet. So I'm gonna put that on. They say to torque it to 118 foot-pounds. I don't know if my torque wrench even goes that high. We'll see. But I won't tighten it completely until I've got the vehicle back on the ground. Also, then when the new axle lug nuts come in, I'll put the new ones on. So my next step then will be to connect the wire at the bottom, get the brake caliper and the rotor back on, and that should be it for this side. Okay, well, we're out on a test drive again. I've just done the one side. Going 30 miles an hour. And I don't hear that loud hum anymore. So I think we may have solved this little problem. As you know, I bought axle hubs for both sides, so even if the one on the driver's side was the problem, I'm going to go ahead and replace the other because, 1, I've got the part, and 2, now I have the experience. And it feels good to succeed at a project like this. Hope that's helpful to you who have similar issues. And I thank you for watching.